A turkey farmer was taking a walk one day, and he found an eagle's egg. Now, he thought it was a turkey egg, so he took it home and he threw it into the turkey pen. And later, when the eagle hatched, he thought he was a turkey. So he did what all the other turkeys did, and he walked, and he pecked, and he scratched along the ground. And one day, when the eagle was very old, he looked up into the sky, and he saw these beautiful birds diving and soaring through the sky, and he asked one of his other turkey friends what it was. And he said, "Oh, that's an eagle. He's the king of the sky. But don't pay any mind to him, because eagles were meant to soar and to fly, and turkeys were meant to scratch and walk and peck." And so the eagle that thought he was a turkey went back to walking and pecking and scratching. Now, the moral of the story is, don't be content to walk and peck when you were created to soar. And if you want to soar like an eagle, you've got to stop thinking like a turkey. And unfortunately, we have been taught a lot of things about health that aren't true. For a whole lot of reasons. Politics, money, control. Some of it's just been knowledge that we thought we understood that's no longer known to be true. We've discovered new things. There's new knowledge. Well, this morning, I want to give you some of that new knowledge and some of that new understanding. Because God designed our bodies to be incredible healing machines when they're working properly. Now, I wrote the book, Setting Things Straight, Achieving Spectacular Health Without Medical Guesswork, Drastic Dieting, or Dangerous Drugs, because what I found was that most people, in fact, were living way below their God-given potential in the area of health. And guess what? If you're living way below your potential in the area of health, you're never going to achieve your potential in any other area. Does that make sense? Say yes. All right. Now, God's given me tremendous wisdom and insight into how the human body works and how it's designed, how He designed it to heal itself. When it's working properly, it's an incredible healing machine. But guess what? If you understand a couple of things, just a few things, you don't have to know a lot, because your body does its own thing. It takes care of itself. And I'll probably say this later, but if you're walking in divine health, you don't need a divine healing. And what's really cool about it, if you really once you really start to get a handle on this, you realize that God made our bodies to be divine health machines. And so many of us are not walking in anywhere near the level of health that we could. The Lord has really blessed us. In 25 years in practice in chiropractic, our chiropractic office in Hershey, Pennsylvania, is one of the busiest it's not the biggest by any means, but it's one of the busiest chiropractic offices in the country. And so I have had a lot of experience working directly with thousands of people over the years in helping them to achieve and take their lives to a new level, especially in the area of health. Health is at an all-time low. Here are the stats. 4 out of 6 Americans die from, listen to this, from heart disease, from cancer, or adverse drug reactions. Those are reactions to properly prescribed prescription medication. That doesn't count the wrong people dying because they were given the wrong drug. On any given week, 80% of Americans are taking prescription drugs. 50% take 2 prescriptions per day. 28% take 4 or more. We recently had a patient come into our office who was taking 29 different medications. 29. Can you imagine? There isn't a scientist or a researcher on God's green earth that has any handle on the different chemical complications and reactions that it can occur in a human body when you're combining even 3 or 4 medications together. We take 65 to 75% of all the prescription medicine consumed on the planet. We make most of it. Now, something's drastically wrong with that picture, because we have more drugs than we've ever had at any time in the history of mankind. We have more people taking those drugs than we've ever had in the history of mankind. And we have more people taking more quantities and more kinds of those drugs at any given, all at the same time. And our health statistics are just going like this. The health of man is at its worst level in the history of modern mankind, at least, than it's ever been. Take a look around. Think about it. It's scary. The World Health Organization, these aren't my statistics. I didn't make these up. I wish I could take credit for them, but I can't. The World Health Organization ranks America at or near the bottom in almost every category of health. We're at or near the bottom. I don't know about you, but I'm not too proud of that. You will never, ever convince me that it's God's will for somebody to die from a heart attack, a stroke, cancer, or a reaction to a prescription drug. Never convince me of that. You know, you've been to many... You've been to probably more funerals than I've been to, and I want to tell you, I've been guilty of saying this myself a time or two. And gee, I guess it was just his time. Malarkey. That's crazy. How do I know it's not God's will for people to die of those things? Because I know the people that do the things I'm going to teach you this morning don't ever die from those things. So how could it be God's will? Now, I'll give you the 1% of the time when God may allow somebody to die from something like that for His greater purposes, okay? But let's forget that. The rest of the time, never mind. Never mind. How many of you want to, raise your hand if you want to take drugs for the rest of your life because your body's falling apart? Can I see anybody want to sign up for that? We want to suffer and be in pain throughout your senior years when you're supposed to really be enjoying yourself and be in a time when you can really be free to do the thing, financially free, and be in a position where you've got all your ducks in a row and you can go do those things which you just really love to do. You've got other people doing all the things that need to be done, but you don't necessarily have to focus your time on anymore. You want to die before your God-appointed time? I'm convinced that most people, very few,